Okay guys, this is it, the review you've all been waiting for. Yes, I know there's an HBO Max series of this well-acclaimed classic, sure, I'll get to that in due time. As well as the sequel to this game also. But for now, let me get through this first. So without further ado, cue the intro. Yo, what is up, my Cinedroids? G to the S here. Today, I'm gonna be reviewing Naughty Dog's crown jewel of the video game industry and one of the most popular games of all time, The Last of Us. Now, I know a lot of people would get confused with the PS5 re-release of the game being a remake. Sure, graphically, it was remade from the ground up and maxed to 1,000,000,000%. I'll touch on that later. But I wouldn't call it a remake. It's still the same story, same voice acting, and same characters from the original game. It's just that it was polished with more movie-like photorealistic graphics than what the game originally looked like on both the PS3 and the PS4, which is still not a terrible thing at all. Again, I'll touch on those elements momentarily. For now, let me lecture you on what this game's originally about. It's the end of the world. The year is 2033. Humanity is dead, and they are only desperate survivors fighting to stay alive just a minute longer. Infected by the cordyceps fungi, there now exist infected humans who can see through sound and crave human flesh. Traveling across the desolate United States, Joel, played by both Sam Drake from Uncharted 4 Thief's End just about 3 years after this game came out, and Mitchell from Call of Duty Advanced Warfare just a year after that, Troy Baker, must escort a young girl named Ellie, played by Tara from the 2003 Teen Titans cartoon, Ashley Johnson, to the resistance group, the Fireflies. And Ellie might just be the key to the human race's survival. Or is she? No spoilers. Play the game and find out for yourselves. Now, first off, it should be no surprise to anyone. Sure, the graphics on both the PS3 and the PS4 at the time looked impressive then, but for me, I think the graphics and the gameplay controls on the PS5 is leagues better than both the PS3 release and the PS4 remastered edition. Like, for example, there's a moment during the beginning action sequence of the game where everything goes down in flames and people are in a state of panic and running away from the infected zombies. The moment where, spoiler alert for those of you who haven't played it already, Joel's poor daughter Sarah, played by Hannah Hayes, dies in cold blood by the order of the high command from the military. I know that people said that the part where Tommy, Joel's younger brother, played by Jeffrey Pierce, who falls down his knees is what gets them. No, what got me is that after she dies, as soon as Joel is desperately calling out to her to no avail, I saw a tear come down for her eyes as soon as she passes away. That was the emotional impact that I was looking for. Just little touches like that get me personally. Outstanding job, Naughty Dog, for making the environments look more realistic on the PS5. I know people would be disappointed by that, but for me, I'm not bothered by that at all. The look of this version sold me. Whatever, fight me, sue me. Even the gameplay controls in this version of the game improved this time around. When I first played the PS4 remastered version of the game, it's still the same controls as the original PS3 release, and it felt a little difficult for me to navigate where I need to go from point A to point B. The fighting mechanics and the first-person shooter tactics were a bit bulky for me, and the crafting in the original versions of the game were a bit cumbersome for me to handle. Not to say that it's bad or anything, it's just that I wasn't a fan of the controls in the older versions. But on the PS5, the controls were really easy to follow. The navigation feature was easy for me to figure out where to go. The crafting felt very organized, so that way I can easily access my crafted weapons and utilize them in my arsenal. And the fighting and the shooting levels were much easier this time around. Sure, there are moments where it gets hard, but I still love a good balance in terms of difficulty levels in any game I play. This game, or at least this particular version of the game rather, understands that it can't be too easy. Even when you set it to the easiest difficulty possible to just enjoy the story, which I'll get to in a second, the game still throws hard obstacles at you, and you have to be smarter than the game to get to your main goal. In terms of execution, I love it when games like this give you a nice perfect balance of difficulty level to progress the story. Cannot wait to come across more games like this in the near future, so stay tuned for my review of those once I play them. Now when it comes to the game's story, both the main story and the DLC that I played recently, they both connect so well. I won't spoil what happens in the DLC, but a certain relative that Ellie has spent time with before she met Joel dies in a very emotional way. And you understand why she was bit by one of those infected zombies and hasn't turned for a long time. Again, just play the DLC after you play the main story first to find out what I'm talking about. Now, when it comes to the main meat and potatoes of the game, again, it holds up tremendously well. And the character development in this game, I thought, is the true highlight of it all. It's about a damaged father who has lost his daughter during the zombie outbreak. And for 2 decades after civilization went to hell, he's distant from everybody. And he has to learn a life lesson that the past is the past. And you can't hold a grudge on the incident forever. That can lead to people not wanting to rapport with you, or even worse, talk to you when you act like that. So again, it's a character growth story about even if you lose someone you love, there might be other daughters out there who would love to accept you as family. Just don't shut them out for too long. So again, props to not only Naughty Dog, but also to the directors who will later bring us Uncharted 4: Thief's End just a few years later, Bruce Straley and Neil Druckmann, for creating an environmental-filled, character-driven, emotional game that brought your company on the map as the only video game developer you should watch out for. Let's hope the sequel to this game lives up to that legacy. Stay tuned for my review of that once I finish it. Also, I thought the voice acting and the mocap direction in this game was spectacular. The actors and actresses in this game portraying their characters made me feel like I'm watching a theatrical motion picture, which is also not a bad thing either. Again, video games are becoming a new art form in the entertainment industry, so it makes sense that this game feels like I'm watching a movie by Sony Pictures in my mind's eye at least. So again, props to Neil and Bruce for your direction coaching in this game. Let's hope you keep this up. Now, if I had to think of problems that I can think of on the top of my head, it would be impossible. Because as a critic, I cannot find any flaws in the game that would detract from the overall story and the emotional weight to the characters. It all worked in this game. So with that said, guys, in the end, of course I agree with the mass population of this game. Even on the PS5, the story, characters, acting performance, both behind the microphone and in mocap suits, environments, graphics, and gameplay still hold up tremendously well, and I will get a chance to play The Last of Us Part 2 in the near future. I heard mixed things about the game, but it won't matter unless I check it out for myself. But in the meantime, of course I rate The Last of Us Part 1 a solid 5 out of 5 stars. It's a no-brainer at this point. Again, stay tuned. My review of the sequel is going to be on my schedule, so make sure you're subscribed. So The Last of Us Part 1 remastered on the PS5. Have you played it? If you haven't, you are totally missing out. Strike while the iron's hot once you have the chance. But for those of you who have, come back and let me know in the comments what you thought about it. Also, if you like this video and you want to see some more, make sure that like button shines in your face. That'll totally help me out a ton. Also, share it with your family and friends and favorite it. That's a very good way to show support for this review. Also, if you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe and ring that bell right next to you so you can be notified of future videos that I have in store for you. Also, if you want a shout out in a future video, just follow me on both Instagram and Twitter, and I will choose one of my Cinedroids to be displayed as a shout out. The link's in the description below. Also, follow me on TikTok so you can catch early updates on the newest videos here on this channel. So if that interests you, the link to my TikTok account is below the description of this video. Also, I set up a YouTube membership program for you guys where you don't have to do this if you don't want to. But if there's a rare chance that you are interested in doing so, if you're watching my videos on your computer screen, that is, there's a little join button that you can click on so that way you can have access to loyalty badges, custom-made emojis that I created for myself, and monthly perks that you can choose from. So that way it'll show appreciation to not only me, but also to you guys as well. So in this case, I want to give a shout out to these two members of the channel right here. Go show them some love. Also, for those of you who are watching my videos on any Apple device you have, be it iPhone, iPad, iPod, or whatever Apple device that you have on hand, there's a link in the description so that way you can do so for your Apple device as well. But either way you watch my videos, go to the link below, become a member, and let's get to know each other a bit more. Also, Also, if you want to subscribe to my gaming channel, there's either a link in the description or at the icon card in the top right corner of your screen. Go over there, subscribe, and let's just have fun together. Also, if you want to show my current channel some love, the link for that is also in the description box as well. Go over there and subscribe. It helps out a lot. But until then, I'll see you next time. Peace out.